Is my video and everything fine?
Everything is fine. We are just live.
Awesome. Cool.
Awesome. So, welcome everyone to the first LinkedIn Live of 2024 from Factors.ai Road to Revenue show. Today we have a very interesting guest, Sri Harsha Guduguntla from Hyperbound.ai. He's the CEO and founder at Hyperbound.ai. He goes by Sai as well. The most important thing and interesting thing which this go live is, we have a company and a founder of a company who is on the bleeding edge of technology. This is like the tech which they are developing wouldn't have been possible a year ago. This is like how to use AI based role play training for AEs and SDRs and for sales folks. And this is like super interesting because almost every investor, every company are trying to see how AI can be applied into multiple facets of sales, marketing, any business processes, etc. And Sri Harsha and his co-founder have started up with Hyperbound.ai to actually disrupt sales training. And it will be very, very interesting to hear from them, like how they are applying AI on their product. And more importantly, also the general trends around AI on SaaS and SaaS sales tech and MarTech, which is what we are very concerned about. And we can hear about them. Also, a snippet is also like we'd also hear about the YC founder journey, because they are young founders. They've just got out and gone into the YC program and they come out of it. So we'd also be able to hear the what is the magic which YC does for startups and companies. So that's great. So very, very, very great welcome for you, Sai. Happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, Sri Krishna. I really appreciate it. And I'm stoked to be here. I've been wanting to be on this podcast for a while, and I know we've been trying. So just glad to finally be here. And it's a new year, new company, new idea, new product. So we're just go time right now.
That's amazing. So let's, before we get delve into the nature of AI and how AI is disrupting sales and marketing tech, can you please tell me about your founding journey? I mean, what got you into becoming a startup founder? How did you find your co-founder? The whole nitty-gritties of the journey of a founder.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy journey. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm only 23 years old, so I don't have I don't have years.
Okay.
But I can tell you how fast quickly things moved, and I can tell you that it was it was always something that I've always wanted to do. I've known I wanted to start a startup since probably I was 13, 14 years old. I think the main thing that really got me interested was back in high school. Actually, during my freshman year of high school, I actually built an app, and this was like the first app that I had ever developed in my life. And I just learned to program, learned to code on my own, just self-learned it, and put out this app, and it just spread like wildfire. In a matter of 2 weeks, just through word of mouth alone, I got 25,000 users trying out the app, and
Wow.
yeah, and that was the first time I realized like this thing that I had built in 24 hours had the power to, go out there and empower like, 25,000 people in such a short period of time. And that's when I realized, how powerful this field can be. And yeah, what I could do by just sitting at home and just being on my laptop. So I think that was the first taste, and that's how it all got started.
That's amazing. And how did you find your co-founder? What did you do after that? Because like you're gone through school, college, and you
Yeah.
would have been in a pretty fancy job because computer science engineers are always in demand. So it's an inertia to, or it's a kind of like a hard life to be a founder. So why would you do it, and why did you do it?
No, that's a great question. I mean, I get asked that all the time. And yeah, I would say, so actually after high school, I went to UC Berkeley for college. I studied computer science there. And I think during my time there was a lot of theoretical stuff that we were learning in school. But for some reason, I could just never wrap my head around all the theoretical aspects of computer science. But something about just like, building something, even something as simple as a UI, and just putting it out there and seeing people's faces light up as they start using it. That's what kind of always gave me like, drive. And so along this whole path, Atul was one of my closest friends in high school, actually. We met through a choir class that we were doing. And Atul at the time had been doing all the same stuff that I was doing, but in the AI realm. So he was building all kinds of crazy AI tools back before people didn't even know what like the capability of AI was back then, and he was building all these apps. And so it never occurred to us that we could partner together until, way after college. He went to Carnegie Mellon, and then we met up after college. And one day, he was on a flight back home visiting the Bay Area from Carnegie Mellon. And I was like, Atul, you're here for a week. The YC apps are open. Do you want to apply to YC together? And his reaction, so I was expecting him to be like, no, I'm gonna, I think I'm just gonna stay at Facebook. He was working at Facebook at the time, but immediately he responds and he's like, let's do it. Right. And this was while he was on a flight back home. And that's literally all it was. 1 minute decision. We decided to work together. We applied, we got in, and it's just a different story.
Was there any idea when you actually applied to YC, or it was just generally like we are going to do use AI or something?
Yeah, I mean, so I think we knew that was going to be something in the AI realm because, Atul's background is fully in AI, and my background is basically in full stack development. So we knew we were going to put those two skills together. But at the same time, the bigger focus is let's solve a real problem that, can help out a lot of different people. And whether that requires AI or not, we'll decide later. But, hopefully AI is a byproduct of that.
Awesome. That's great. And which YC batch was it? Winter?
Yeah, so we got in last summer. So YC summer 2023.
Summer 2023. And how was that experience? What happened? What changed for you?
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, we applied to Y Combinator. That was, like a week-long process. We applied, we just got the interview, which was crazy. We did not expect it at all. It was a 10-minute interview. And, we thought we completely messed up that interview, but somehow we got in. They liked us. We had 15 ideas coming in, by the way. So I guess they believed in one of those. And, there's a lot of time where we were just, cycling through ideas, talking to folks, doing discovery. Like, since we started the startup, we've talked to over almost 600 people, 700 people, like getting on a Zoom call and all through outbound. So we've been at it for a while. And I think, since YC, they've provided so much support and been like amazing mentors, and the brand name has helped a lot as well.
That's great. So most of the YC process is basically like you are AI engineers, computer science engineers.
Yeah.
You want to build something on AI. There are multiple applications which you can build around that, and there are some real problems which you can solve. Right. And YC trusting you guys that you guys will build something out of that.
Yeah, exactly. I think it had a lot to do with our backgrounds as well. Just having built so many different things. Like, you could say that Atul and I had built every app that you can think of. Like, we built the Ubers of the world. We built the DoorDashes of the world. We built like finance apps. We built fitness apps. Like, everything you can think of, we built. So I think they were just really excited that we had that hustle and took a chance on us. And hopefully we put them right.
Oh, that's a great thing. It's a great story, but more importantly for people who are looking to apply to YC, what it matters is like more than the idea or at that point what they are saying. It's also the background, what they have built over a period of time. Are they able to show the hustle? Are they able to show the building skills at a fundamental level? Are you a builder in the first place so that they're able to take a bet on and get into YC? So I think it should be pretty great for also the other founders from India who are applying for YC. I think YC has a significant India batch which comes through every year.
Yeah, no, there's so many people from India and YC, and I think every year that number keeps growing.
The number keeps increasing.
So no, it's awesome to see. Like, I've made so many friends with Indian founders in YC ever since I joined.
That's great. Now let's come back to the more of the meat of it. Before we get into Hyperbound and also how Hyperbound runs in it, you have been an AI engineer. You guys have been closely following this trend. And most importantly, you have been in college when the AI wave has started developing. So we can actually see the two eras, like before ChatGPT and after ChatGPT. And ChatGPT has, the LLM models has brought about a kind of capability which was not existent before that. And the good part is you have actually been in college during the years of how this whole development happened. And you would have both the theoretical or the kind of like a pre-industry experience of it, and now you're also seeing the same thing in industry. Can you take some time out to talk about like what are the things which are happening in the AI LLM world? what is it that ChatGPT actually changes to what was AI before this? It's not that AI supervised learning or unsupervised learning models weren't there, but what is it that ChatGPT is doing now, which actually fundamentally changes the way businesses can be run better? If you can shed some light.
Yeah, no, 100%. And this is actually even better question for Atul. I'll say, like, he loves this question because he dives in deep. But I'm not an AI engineer myself. Just putting that out there for the
Mhm.
audience. But from my understanding, I think the thing that's changed obviously is ChatGPT is, I think, something that's been around for a long time, and people have been actually using GPT for a long time. There have been other models before this too, like you've probably heard of BERT before. It's one of the
Yes.
most popular language models while we were in college, right? And I think the problem was that from just a publicity point of view, like nobody really knew the power of these models. They were just kind of like kind of hidden away. People like Atul would know them, know that, understand
Mhm.
the value, but people didn't really get it. And I think when ChatGPT launched way back a couple of years ago, people were using it, but it wasn't like a big deal, And I think as soon as this big launch came out with OpenAI and people saw it, that's when it started, going crazy. And obviously, like, I could dive into all the technical details, but I think really it was more like a marketing thing, and from my perspective,
Okay.
than it was a huge technological shift, because technology was it was being built for a long period of time. This wasn't just like overnight, like in 1 year it just changed everything.
No,
Yeah,
that's an interesting point of view because it's like generally academia and also general technologies. No, nothing gets built over 2 years or 3 years. It happens over a period of 20 years. Infra, so many things come together, people and other the thing before something clicks, and also the marketing basically makes everything usable or everything discoverable, where people want to actually adopt something.
exactly.
That has happened. So that's a great point. But anything from, I mean, with ChatGPT and with the LLM models being now popularized, how does it actually apply into very, very specifically SaaS sales and martech? If you can take down into that, so that will also be interesting to see, like, what are the kind of applications which you can now do, which hitherto wasn't possible a couple of years back.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably seen a million of these already coming up every single day. There's a new company. Like, I think the craziest thing about ChatGPT is it can create content, right? For a long time, we've had tools like Grammarly that can analyze content. We've had spell check for the longest time. We've had grammar check. Like, none of these are like, crazy new, right? I think what's
Mhm.
new here is the fact that you can actually create content. And especially for marketing and sales, that's a huge step in the right direction, right? Like, whether that's making social media content, whether that's writing emails, whether that's generating conversational models, right, that can actually have a conversation with you and simulate a sales call like what we're doing. I think that part is what's really fundamentally changed, and it's really going to unlock a lot of potential for sales and marketing. You're already seeing it, especially with the conversational side.
Conversations, yes, we do see some. Of course, email is the first thing which is starting to get disrupted, because where like now already with the email automation tools, people were receiving hundreds of emails. Now with ChatGPT, with a bit of personalization, scraping on LinkedIn and other things, so people are receiving 10,000s of personalized emails, which is
Right.
starting to happen. That
Exactly.
is one level tech which is there. So
And I
diving
would
in a
say
little.
the difficulty with all these things, right, is ChatGPT by itself is not going to produce the highest quality content. So it's all about, like, how do you make this a tool that people can use easily and it's accessible for everyone, especially for people that aren't as technical and may not be like, you can't expect people to be prompt engineers. So you have to build a product around it to really help them, get
Get
the
the
quality
calls.
that they want.
Get the quality they want. So what you are saying is like more than the kind of content generation capabilities, it's also about like the kind of input feeds you are giving into the content, or
Exactly.
the quality of data or the variety of data you're giving, so that the product can be as creative as possible in terms of generating the content which is there.
100%. Yeah. The
Interesting.
product around it, the inputs, the way
Mhm.
you enter those inputs, the ease of the product during that process, all that really factors into the success of all these sales and marketing companies. using Gen AI.
Awesome. That's great. So now taking a step a little further now, I'm quite keen to hear about like Gen AI and also the sales and martech, but more specifically about Hyperbound. What does Hyperbound do? How does it actually apply this Gen AI into hire? What they try to solve for, which is sales training, because sales training has been here for almost like maybe 200 years, right from the time of industrial revolution. Whenever you had products to sell, you would have sales training, you would have a
Yeah.
industrial training mode, or IBM is famous for having the famous sales folks and other this thing building on it. So how does Hyperbound actually come about, and what do they solve for sales training?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, with most B2B SaaS tools, the
Mhm.
biggest thing that they bring to the table is efficiency, right? And I think that's at the core of what we're trying to solve here as well, right? We're not trying to reinvent sales training. We're not trying to replace your sales trainer or your sales coach. I'll be one to tell you that anyone that claims to do that, the tech is not there, and I would love to see it work if you really do claim that. But yeah, so our whole goal is that we think that this is finally a way to give reps a way to practice, right? Like up till now, the way sales training has worked is, you hire a sales trainer, right? You have like a team of 25 reps, right? And then you do like a 2-week boot camp, a 1-month boot camp with them, with the sales trainer, right? And there's not really a one-on-one coaching piece to that. It's usually just like group sessions. And at the end of it, you're paying the sales trainer tons of money to do that, and really not even getting that one-on-one coaching in the process, right?
Mhm.
And so what we're doing here is like we're actually providing reps a way to get that one-on-one feedback, right? And a way to practice the skills that they're learning from these sessions at home.
Okay.
And that's like the big game changer here.
So how would it be different from, let's say, sales videos, or like even kind of rep training where they say that, okay, you can actually do this. I think they have these training videos, what fix, and others say that, okay, you can actually go through a kind of a process where you can answer questions,
Yeah.
answer queries and other things. How does this differ from that?
No, great question. So, I mean, let's take like the sports analogy, right?
Mhm.
I know it's an overused analogy, but I think it works really well here. It's like I'm a big basketball fan, by the way. If you look at how basketball players train, like they watch film, right? After every game, they watch film, and their coach or ref their coach will tell them like, all the areas where they're making mistakes or they're lacking, right? And then now, how do these players actually go and put that into practice, right? The expectation isn't just to go to the next game and fix everything overnight, right?
Yes.
The expectation is to go to the gym the next day, hone those skills, do more free throws, do more
Mhm.
drills, right? And again, it's not happening overnight. It's going to happen over a couple months,
Mhm.
right? And so I think that's the piece we're bringing to this. It's like there is no practice component. There is no gym component here for SDRs. We're finally giving them that virtual gym that's been missing in sales.
That's amazing. So basically, you create scenarios where they're going back into the same game again and asking them to see what they would have done differently.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's very good. How does that work actually in practice? So if, let's say, we have a team of uh, 5 SDRs, and if I'm onboarding another new SDR, how does it actually work? Are they how's the product work? I mean, what is it going to train on? Should I give them all my Zoom recordings to the product and ask them to get trained on it, or should I just are you going to onboard this data? Is there a processing time, or are you going to? Is there any manual intervention in actually starting to build these coaching methodologies?
100%. So we've been looking at a lot of past coaching tools and stuff like that, and I think the biggest thing we've noticed is the amount of lift it actually takes to get started with one of these tools, right?
Mhm.
There's a lot of training material that your company has, and it's really hard to kind of input this into some tool and just make it work, right? So what we've been able to achieve with our product is we actually can help our customers build their own AI bots for the reps to role play with, and we can help them build those in less than 15 minutes per bot. Yeah,
Nice.
and the way we and that was like a long time in the making. Like Otto and I spent a lot of time trying to get that flow as simple as possible, and we've been able to achieve this where we can have customers just build really high quality bots in under 20 minutes right? And we will give you tons of pre-made templates to make that job even easier. And it's literally with the switch of with just like one config change for each bot, you can basically build a whole new one that reacts completely differently, has a totally different emotional state, has totally different objections, right?
Wow.
So I think that's kind of the beauty of it is we've been able to make the product very easy for our customers to input data and use.
So basically, what you do is you go to customers share with you some kind of their recordings and their videos, either gong calls and other this thing.
Yeah. So let me
Using that,
clarify that part of it. So we actually don't require customer sales calls to make it happen. That we actually see as more of an advanced feature down the line. We've been able to achieve pretty solid quality by just getting some basic information about the customer's ICP, right? So the customer will just answer like, a bunch of questions that we have. And actually, they'll just enter it into the product directly. They don't even have to go through us, but they just answer a bunch of questions and like a form, and out comes a bot ready to go. That's like perfectly tuned for your ICP. And yeah, the Zoom calls, the transcripts is kind of the next
level. So what you get is like, let's say if I'm trying to use it for factors.a, all I need to do is input our ideal customer profile, which is marketing and GTM SDR teams within these within SaaS and B2B companies. We provide the kind of ICP profile, like, okay, companies
So
from
you
United
you would
States.
provide like what are the goals of the bot? What are the opinions of the bot? What are the objections of the bot? Right? What is the bot interested in? Like, is the bot a single mother of 4 children, or is it or is it like someone else? Right? Like basically, like you can get into as much detail as you want with the bot to give it its own personality, right?
Okay.
And we completely leave that up to the customer. It's very highly customizable.
Awesome. And once that is ready, I can put this in front of my new SDRs or other this thing to actually ask them to train
Immediately.
through.
Yeah, immediately. So as soon as you finish that bot, it's out ready for your reps.
Would it be possible to actually see something of it in this current live?
Yeah, actually, Sri Krishna, let's do this. I wanted to do this actually. If you want to open this up on your computer and try selling one of our bots factors, I would love to see that. Let me actually just send you a link here.
Yes.
So do I just send it in this chat over here?
Yeah, just send us in the chat so that we can actually see it. And I can also present it here itself.
Cool. So I just sent you the link in the chat.
Just haven't got the link yet. Is it in the StreamYard chat which you have sent? Yeah.
I sent it in the private chat, I guess. Let me
just look into it. Yeah, just send it in the public or like maybe WhatsApp chat is also fine. I'll just take it from there and put the link.
Let me just do that actually. I'll just make it easier. There we go.
Got it. I'm just going to open this up so that it's easier for people to see it. Just
let's hope the audio and everything checks out today. Do you have good Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I have good Wi-Fi. We have moved into a new office, so we are able to actually get into this thing.
That's great. The office looks really nice.
It does. Okay, it's app.hyperbound, right?
Yeah.
I'm just sharing my screen. So for the rest of the audience as well, is this it?
This is it. Yeah, there you go. So this is the interface. Just quick overview. Essentially, we have 6 public bots that you can play with. Okay. And we built out different personas just as a demo, right? So you don't have to go in and build your own. We have a marketing ops, we have a director of sales, we have customer success, infosec, HR. So we have 6 different bots.
And why so much rude and less rude?
So yeah, every bot has a personality. So that's something also you can encode into it. We made all the demo bots pretty rude. So they're all, they don't want to be cold called. They hate being cold called. So you just got to be nice to them when you talk to them.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you wanna try talking to like the marketing ops manager at James Enterprises?
Yes, Aaron Smith.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can
Should I
try.
do a?
Technically, he's built to be sold MailChimp. I'll be honest.
Okay.
But you can try
Okay.
selling. If not, we'll try Jane Bowen if this one doesn't work out too well.
Okay. Let me just.
Yeah, just put in your information there.
Wow. It's pretty neat.
Oh, by the way, did you share with your audio the screen?
I'm sharing with audio only, so it's there. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, go ahead and just start the cold call. Just hit start cold call.
Interesting.
So now it's just
request the permission further.
Yeah, just hit allow.
Yes. Hi, Aaron. Or what's this thing?
Is he talking to you? Did you hear anything?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Gotcha. Let's try it one more time then.
Okay, just end this call.
This one, and on the next page you'll see like a start new call button. So yeah, right there, just hit start new call.
This is interesting. So we have multiple personas. I can start.
Hello, who is this?
Hi, Aaron. This is Sri here from Factors.ai. Is this a good time to connect with you?
Well, sure, I wasn't expecting a call. Why are you ringing me?
I'm really sorry about it. We saw some interest from your company on our website. That's why we thought you might be interested in a product which we are actually, I want to talk about. What we do at Factors.ai is like we are a B2B account identification and analytics product. We help you understand who are the companies which are there on your website, what they are doing, without them actually signing up. Would you be interested in learning further?
Interesting, but we are already using Google Analytics for tracking who's visiting our website. What else do you guys offer?
Google Analytics just gives which they don't give which users come in, they just show number of users. We actually tell you which accounts are actually coming into your website. So let's say if a particular company is coming into your website, the user from a particular company is coming into your website, we can actually say, this is the company which is coming, this is the size of the company, this is the number of reps in that company, and these are the pages they are looking at and how much time they are spending on each pages and where they are coming from. So that you'll know which company is there, so you can directly reach out to that company rather than not knowing who the company is.
Oh, so you're just a fancier version of Google Analytics then? But let me tell you this, mate, 95% of the traffic which comes onto our site is from law firms. They're already segmented by the type of firm they are. We're a B2B company mostly serving other businesses. How would your tool help in that case?
We can exactly tell you which law firms are actually visiting your website. 95% is, of course, law firms. We can exactly tell you which law firms. So that, let's say if Sullivan Cromwell is the one which is coming into your website, you would in parallel, you would know like, okay, and they're also coming from the Seattle office or from the San Francisco office, and you are selling to the IT manager in these, in Sullivan Cromwell in Seattle office, you would be able to exactly identify, reach out to them over an Apollo or an email or any other cold call and directly reach out to them rather than just not being aware like, okay, there are 95%, there are 100 visitors in my website, 95% of them are law firms. This is more ingrained granular detail at an account level, which you can actually use to go and sell to them. Would this be interesting to you?
Now you've got me curious. But you need to understand, I'm not going to sign up for anything until I'm sure your system is secure. I'll need to know how you're dealing with privacy issues and the security of our CRM data. Our security team keeps me up at night just thinking about it. Can you shed some light here?
Of course. We are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant. We work with 200 plus companies, including Fortune 1000 companies, multiple listed companies. We can share all the security details and our DPI as well, data protection as well. And we are happy to do a free trial as well, so that you can actually see the product in action with your own data before you want to decide anywhere.
All right, so you're SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, but that doesn't really tell me anything about how you'll handle the data from my CRM system. Do we need to upload our CRM data into your system? How does your solution interact with our CRM? Does your tool work in tandem with it, or are you planning on replacing our existing CRM? I need clear answers.
We work in tandem with your CRM. So whether it's you're on HubSpot or Salesforce or Zoho, we actually integrate with your CRM data and work in tandem with it. We also push back whatever the accounts we identify back into your CRM. You don't need to change anything in your existing systems. And your data is also fully compliant. We store the data all in Google Cloud in US West. So that way it's totally safe and in a separate project. No others don't have access to your data.
Okay. But just so you know, you're not the first one to call me with a product like this. If it does what you say it does, that's all good. But I've experienced companies promising the moon and delivering nothing. Can I see your solution in action? And don't think for 1 second I'm saying yes to anything yet. You showing me a demo is the least you can do. If I'm satisfied, we can take things from there. When can you arrange a demo for me to see how this actually works?
I can do it immediately in the next 5 minutes, or even whenever you are whenever it's convenient for you. And we can also offer you a free trial so that you can actually see the product in action with your own data. No commitments. Just takes a 15-minute integration. That's all.
5 minutes is too quick.
Okay. Can I do it tomorrow or early next week?
Wednesday, 11 a.m. Don't be late. I will not wait for you.
Sure. You have me there. Thanks a lot, Aaron. I'll call you at Wednesday, 11 a.m. for setting up the demo call.
Yes, that's correct. Wednesday, 11 a.m. for the demo. Speak then. Goodbye.
Sure. Thank you. Bye. Wow. This was amazing.
Yeah, no, keep sharing your screen. I'll go to that analytics screen you're on right now.
This is pretty amazing. It's because the kind of questions he was asking, and even if he was saying that, okay, I use this to use the data, what are you, a fancier version of that, or how he was actually asking for, like, I won't be late. When do you want to do the demo? It's actually pretty accurate. And how much time does it take to develop this bot?
Like I mentioned, 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
And
So
we are actively working on making that even shorter. So it's just getting started.
And this was a bot originally set up to sell MailChimp. But when I spoke about factors.ai, how did he go into Google Analytics? How was that?
Because we code in the bot with a bunch of technologies that it already uses. And Google Analytics was probably one of the ones so Otto built this one. Google Analytics was probably one of the tools he baked in already. And it's been around for so many years that, the models are all trained on Google Analytics pretty well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. So basically selling MarTech products becomes more easier, at least training for that. That's good.
100%. Yeah. And if you're still on that screen, feel free to share your screen. I want to talk about some of the things on that summary page.
Awesome. I'll do that as well. Just give me a second. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, this screen essentially shows you like a transcript, like an audio recording of everything. It shows you your talk listen ratio, your filler words, all the usual stats. And also we have like a scorecard. And I think this feature is very exciting. Essentially, we can score your SDR on all the different parts of the call, like the opener, the gating, the closing, like how well you identified certain criteria, how well you did discovery, right? And we can also identify like what questions did your rep actually end up asking in the discussion, right? And as well as like the objections. So like what objections did Aaron make here, and how did your SDR actually handle each of those objections?
Awesome. That's pretty amazing. So in one effect, like you're able to score calls, you're able to see how the calls are being trained. And then does this also work on live calls? Can I use this on live calls? Like something like how we use Gong to score calls or other things?
Yeah, we are definitely thinking about that. A lot of the same scorecarding features that we use here would totally apply to live calls as well. So it is on the roadmap, and
and in live you can see the objections and questions. And I'm actually pretty excited about how this technology is going to make things very different over a period of time, because it's like what we are having here is like, one, you're training a rep, you're also scoring it live. Second, you can actually then take this on to, maybe you can have an automated SDR calling itself. So because you have so many calls and other data going, the next level might be for this technology can be is like how you don't even have a human calling, you have someone else calling, which is totally automated, handles objections, takes the first level calls.
Exactly.
Is responsive, and also make sure that they tick off all the boxes in terms of, are they handling the right objections? Are they setting up the next time? Are they closing properly, etc. And audience,
I love love how you're just spitting out like all the things that we're thinking about, for the next few months. I think exactly, you got it right. That the beauty of building this product is we're literally building up a data set of sales calls, right? That we can use to go train a bot to do good sales calls in the future, right? So we're essentially building our own data set to build that future product you're talking about. And quite honestly, the tech is quite like not like it needs a little more. Like maybe GPT-5 will change that. It just needs a little more, but I think we're not too far off from something like that. Although I will say that's not the goal. Like I think for us, like we believe people are going to be selling. For like even after bots start calling, people are still going to be selling. Training is still going to be a thing. So
Yes.
yeah, this is not
No,
going to
I
go.
understand that's like, of course, one is training. Training is made much better because, like, instead of giving videos of calls and other things, which is also great, you can have a great rep take a call, or someone, another rep who's shadowing him, take through the call and also understand how he handles objections and learn from it. Here, this basically makes it totally offline, where there is like you train a module, but the next set of what you're saying with maybe GPT-5 and other thing, where you can actually train a bot to take sales calls or SDR calls or the base level calls, and then actually address objections, is like kind of pretty cutting edge of what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, just for the sake of audience and also others on this thing, what is it that goes behind this? Maybe I understand that you may not be able to delve deep into the LLM models and how it actually goes, but what it actually goes into it, why something like this was not possible maybe a year or 2 years back, and what is the next level? You said like, okay, if maybe with GPT-5 you can do the next level, what does it actually mean for it? So when we get maybe GPT-5 or GPT-6, what does it actually mean for this kind of a technology?
100%. So I think what's changed significantly, even in the last 2 months, is that GPT-4 is just a much bigger model, orders of magnitude bigger than GPT-3, right? And what I mean by that is it's just literally trained on more data, right? And the more data it's trained on, the more accurate its replies are going to be, and the more in context its replies are going to be, the more familiar it will be with more concepts, right? So that's one big thing. GPT-4, which came out like, I think halfway through last year or something like that. So that definitely changed things. And also latency wise, right? You've noticed probably there is still a bit of latency in its response, but if you have good Wi-Fi, it's actually pretty crazy how fast it's able to respond. And I'll tell you, like, there's a lot of processing going on underneath the hood. But the reason the latency is there is because of GPT-4 Turbo. Like in the last month and a half, GPT-4 Turbo just got even faster. And within like 8 months, it's going to get even faster as the GPU shortage, problem kind of gets solved over the next few months. But yeah, no, this tech's only getting better. And every few months, you're going to see the latency go down. You're going to see the responses become more crisp, and it's exciting times.
Would it be possible also for the same technology, let's say like for some bot which is sold to be a marketing operations manager somewhere, which reacts to something like Google Analytics, which is I think a fed-in data. When I say factors.ai automatically immediately searches like who are the competitors of factors.ai, what does factors.ai do, and tune its responses accordingly. Is that possible?
Exactly. So the nice thing is, so the thing is, as these models get bigger, they're being trained on more data that's out there on the internet, right? It's just public internet data. That's what they're trained on. So if you guys, keep putting out more of these podcasts, keep putting out more of these blogs, there's just more content for these bots to train on, right? And so I would say, like, as the models get better and better, it'll be able to cover more ground. But also, we made it really easy for you to enter that information into the bot yourself. If, for example, if it doesn't really know factors, you can totally just enter that into our bot configuration. Just 2 sentences, explain what factors does. You don't even need to go in detail. It will just, make its own inferences and, get around most of the problems.
Oh, I think it's a pretty amazing decade for sales folks, because it's like what's next in sales is going to be like you can actually eliminate all the parts of the job which you don't really love to do, which is basically like the general calling, which is like just calling and saying like, can I just show you a demo and book a demo, or have a call, or handle your basic objections and all things. That's not something which a sales guy enjoys, because that's just getting the foot in the door. What he would actually enjoy is like maybe paint a value case, take them through the nitty gritties of the product, which is something which is not easily trainable, which is not something which is automated. But those are the things which he wants to do. But the kind of like non-interesting parts of his work is actually going to get automated, and or bots are going to do that, and that's something we are getting into a very interesting era. That's pretty
Yeah,
fantastic, Sai.
pretty
Thanks a
crazy.
lot for showing this, and also best of luck for your product. We have a couple of listeners who are also asking if they can get a free trial or a demo of this thing. Would that be?
Yeah, I mean, so the beauty of this thing is that that link that I shared to you is actually a public link. In fact,
Mhm.
I'm trying to join this chat over here, so I can send the link in here. Let me
I
actually.
can. Shall I send the link there itself to the rest of the people as well, or into the chat? Would you be okay with it?
Yes, actually, I just got in the chat, so I can do it.
Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, you already posted it. Yeah, so that's the link to the demo. It's a public demo, no usage limits right now, so you can play around with it as much as you want.
Wow.
The 6 personas that we built, even though they're built for specific companies, right? Like the MailChimp one, as you can tell, you can also sell other things to them. So yeah, feel free to play around with those as much as you want. We're not really capping that anytime soon right now. Yeah.
That's great. Sure. I think we are almost getting into the end of the LinkedIn Live, and we have, I mean, what we saw now, it's exciting in multiple fronts. One is like what AI and ChatGPT LLMs can actually do for sales tech over the next decade. While seeing something like ChatGPT and others, we can see like we can write better emails, we can give better prompts, but that's at one level. Now we are actually getting to see in live kind of some of the cool things which can the chatbots can do for you, or the AI bots can actually do for you. That was very, very amazing. Second is like how far we have come in terms of technology, in terms of like if you can apply this technology while you are doing this for sales training, the same thing can be done on customer success level, same thing can be done on so many other like marketing, or like even building your ad copies, building your response rates, or even customer call centers and other this thing.
We're
And this
so
can.
excited about the tech. The tech is so easily transferable. Like the bots that we built right now,
Mhm.
we can make it work for a customer support use case overnight. We can make it work for a customer success use case overnight. The only thing stopping us is just we can't conquer the whole world all at once. So we're gonna start.
So
We're
you
gonna
have to
start,
choose your.
and
Yeah.
we think sales actually has the we think it's gonna have the biggest impact out of all of those, at least from our early discovery. But yeah, no, you're 100% right. The horizontal opportunities here are insane.
That's pretty amazing. That's great, Sriharsha. So, I mean, what we learned, and also maybe what our audience learned, is something like I think like they're trying to at least it gives a kind of a better visualization of what is there for the next decade for us, especially in applications of LLMs and GPT 5, 6 into technology, especially into sales and martech, and which is there. That's great. Lastly, before coming to the conclusion of the call and other thing, uh, what is it that, I mean, you have been just started up in the last 1 year, so I think you would have graduated a couple of years back. You had worked for a year, and then you applied for YC. You got through that, and over the last 1 year, you have been building this startup and other this thing. In terms of what you see in the valley and how you see in the Bay Area, what
Mhm.
are the key areas where there is things which are really, really exciting? So like outside Hyperbound, what are the things which you're seeing, technologies and companies which you find really exciting? If you can share anything of that, that would be really great for our audience also to check out, especially in anything around revenue, sales, marketing, etc.
Yeah. No, I'll actually point you guys to one company that I'm actually talking to their founder in a couple days, but you've probably seen Air.ai before.
Yes.
So Air.ai is making waves in B2C right now, in the
Wow.
B2C world, and 100%. If you haven't checked it out yet, I would highly recommend checking it out. And I think another big wave that I'm seeing is just legal tech as a whole is going to be, we're going to see a huge shift in legal tech. I don't know if you guys have seen legal tech tools like, Net Documents or some of these other, LexisNexis. Like these companies have been around for so long, and there hasn't been much innovation. And I think, especially going through YC, there were so many legal tech startups doing some amazing stuff, from drafting like patents, right, to drafting drafting all kinds of proposals. There's AI co-pilots. There's like contract negotiation analysis, all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
So there's a lot of tools coming out, and I think one of these companies are going to come out on top, and it's going to be a game changer for law, and it's going to get cheaper too, hopefully, because that's one of the biggest complaints with legal services right now. It's just
It's insanely costly, and the whole legal process, and it's kind of also in a highly litigated country like US. It just becomes a headache for most founders, general public, and everyone. So that's a great, amazing thing which is there. And one other thing which is that I also saw you are also you are a chess player, so you had been in Bay Area chess this thing. So
yeah.
if you can also talk about the other side of like apart from work, what do you do? We got to know that you enjoy basketball, but what are the other things which you the thing? And I think you would also be looking forward to the candidates tournament coming next.
Oh yeah, that's going to be really exciting. I mean, Pragnananda being in the candidates is going to be crazy experience to watch. I'm a big fan of Pragnananda. Do you know Ramesh, GM Ramesh?
Yes.
He's Pragnananda's coach, right? So I took a couple lessons from GM Ramesh back in the day. I went to one of his boot camps in the US when he visited.
Seriously? Nice.
So I'm a big chess nerd. I played it competitively for many years. It's definitely one of my hobbies. I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to playing competitively again. I think it's just too stressful, too much time, and I don't know if I have the time to put into it. But outside of that, actually, I spend most of my time doing like music on the side. So I have a YouTube channel. I have like an Instagram and a TikTok where I post, covers. I do like Hindi music, English music, Telugu music, Tamil music.
Nice.
Yeah, so I post a lot of different covers, and I like to produce some stuff every now and then.
That's nice. It's totally, I mean, outside AI and tech and starting up and YCs, it's like what founders do is pretty amazing. And that's great to know that.
It's really weird. Yeah. Like, one day I'll be like coding and the next day I'm at some gig, like performing on stage somewhere. So it's like, it's a very different day to day.
That's amazing. So thanks a lot, Sriharsha. Thanks for taking time off to share the two on a late evening in California to come and share both about your product, about changes, and which are the kind of companies which we need to look out for, which are the kind of technologies we need to look out for. This thing. This is pretty exciting because I think a lot of viewers, they come to Factors.ai, LinkedIn Live, not just to look at like, okay, learn more about ABM technology or MarTech or something, but B2B, it's not just one event. Marketing actually impacts sales and marketing connects to sales. And that's what we solve for. And learning about how tech is actually impacting this whole space, right? From like, how do salespeople are going to get trained? How do they are going to handle calls? How SDRs are going to book more demos? How they are going to accelerate demos? All of those things fall into the broader ABM go-to-market piece or driving more revenue and pipeline. And this to start the year off with something like this has been very, very great, exciting and cool for us. So thanks a lot for your time.
It's on, man. And I know you mentioned you wanted a specific company to point folks to. Definitely check out Doxum.ai. I'll give them a shout out. They've been really helpful, just helping us with our sales contracts and identifying red lines automatically on contracts, and makes our process a lot easier. I think they're onto something. So definitely check out Doxum, DOCSUM.ai. I'll send it in the chat.
I'm just putting that also. Yeah, I just put it in. And even the air.ai is also, I'm just going to.
Air.ai, yeah.
That's interesting. Cool. I think that's been amazing. It's wonderful. Best of luck for the rest of the year and how to use AI to disrupt sales training. So we'll be rooting for you, and we'll be really looking at and I actually following you quite often from you. Thanks.
Thank you, Sri. I really appreciate you trying out the tool, and I appreciate and I really enjoyed talking about everything, and wish you great luck on Factors as well, man. I'm really excited for you. Yeah, this is going to be a different year.
Thank you. Sure. Bye.
All right. Bye.